Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series of Design and Analysis of Algorithms. So we continue our series of previous year questions and solutions. Let's go to the next question. So now the next question says, give an example graph with 5 nodes that gives 2 different minimum spanning trees when computed with Prim's algorithm and Kruskal's algorithm. So in this example, you can take any example or any sample graph. Let's suppose I take this as a sample graph. Let's say I take the edge weights as 2. So you can take any example graph. The idea here is that if you have any 2 edges that have duplicate weights or more than 2 edges that have duplicate weights, that will always end up in giving 2 different spanning trees when constructed with Prim's algorithm and Kruskal's algorithm. So accordingly, you can choose any graph. Now if I draw a spanning tree for this graph using the Prim's algorithm, let's suppose the source vertex is A. So let's say I choose the A vertex first. From A I can go to B and D. Let's say I choose B. The edge weight is 2. Now let's say I choose the next edge as BC. Now from C I can choose the next edge as, let's say, CE. Now from E I can choose ED and BE, but choosing BE will result in a cycle. So let's say I choose ED. So now all the vertices have been covered. So this is the minimum spanning tree using the Prim's algorithm. Now let's say if I draw the same spanning tree using the Kruskal's algorithm. Now for Kruskal's algorithm, you need to first sort the edges, but here all the edge weights are equal. So you can start with any vertex. Let's suppose I choose AB edge first with the edge weight of 2. Let's suppose the next edge I choose is BC, edge weight 2. Let's suppose next weight BE, edge weight 2. Next edge as AD, edge weight is 2. So this is the spanning tree. Again, you can have number of spanning trees using the Kruskal's algorithm, since all the edge weights here are of 2 weight. So these are the 2 different spanning trees that are possible for this particular graph. So the basic idea here is that duplicate edge weights should be in a graph in order to have different spanning trees. We move on to the next question now. The next question says, consider the following recurrence relation for computing the sum of n natural numbers. Now this is the recurrence relation which is given. What is the running time of the recursive implementation of the above recurrence? So we need to solve the recurrence relation. Let's solve this recurrence relation. The recurrence relation is f of n equals to f of n minus 1 plus n, and f of 1 is 1. F of 1 is 1. Let's represent this as like this, plus n, and t of 1 is 1. Now let's solve this iteratively. So substitute, instead of n, let's substitute this as n minus 1. So this will become t of n minus 2 plus n minus 1. Substitute the value of t n minus 1 over here. This will give t of n minus 2 plus n minus 1 plus n. Now t of n minus 2 will be t of n minus 3 plus n minus 2. Substitute the value of t n minus 2 over here. This will give t n minus 3 plus n minus 2 plus n minus 1 plus n. And this will continue. Let's solve one more. Let's say t of n minus 4 plus n minus 3 plus n minus 2 plus n minus 1 plus n. Now this will continue. Let's suppose I replace this with the k. So this will become n minus, so if this is k, then this is 1 less than k, so this will be k minus 1. This will be n minus k minus 2, and so on. This will be n only. Now let's suppose if I take n minus k is equivalent to 1, so this will become t of 1 plus this will be n minus k plus 1. This will be, here we have n minus k plus 2 plus n. Now t of 1, it's already given in the question, t of 1 is 1. So this will be 1 plus n minus k is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. N minus k is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3. So this will continue up to n. Now if we recall, this is the sum of n natural numbers, which is equals to n into n plus 1 by 2, and this is nothing but equals to order of n square. So the running time for the implementation of this recurrence relation is order of n square. Now the next part of this says, would memoizing the recursive solution improve the running time of this? Explain. Now here memoizing the recursive solution won't improve the running time, since there are no sub problems that are overlapping with each other. We have all the sub problems which are different from each other. So memoizing the recursive solution helps in a case when there are overlapping sub problems. But in this case we can see that none of the sub problems are overlapping with each other. So memoizing won't help in improving the running time. So we can say no, memoizing won't improve the running time as each sub-problem is solved exactly once. There are no overlapping sub-problems. So memoization doesn't help over here. Right? Let's move on to the next question now. The next question says, can depth first search algorithm be used to determine a shortest path from source node to a destination node in an unweighted graph? Justify. Now we have already seen in the videos that what do we mean by DFS and BFS. Now let's say if I take a sample graph as this A, since the graph is unweighted, like this. Now we know what does a DFS algorithm does. So DFS algorithm explores deeply before checking all the immediate neighbors. So it may happen that it may not result in the shortest path from one node to another node. Like for example, if I want to construct a shortest path from A to C. So let's construct a DFS tree for this. So DFS tree for path A to C will be, since it explores deeply, so it will go from A to B first, then B to D, then D to E, and then E to C. So if I construct it in the form of a tree, the DFS tree for this will be A, then B, then D, then E, and then C. But we can see that the shortest path from A to C can be easily achieved through this. So shortest path from A to C is A to C only. But using the DFS, it is giving me a shortest path from A to C by all these nodes. Right? So this is definitely not the shortest path to reach node C via A. So DFS algorithm may not result in the shortest path from one node to another node. So if we want to construct or if we want to get a shortest path from one node to another, then we can use the BFS algorithm, which guarantees that will definitely give the shortest path. So this was all about this video. In the upcoming videos, we'll discuss more questions. If you like this video, then do like and share my video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.